The easiest way to describe is that we make sort of sensory performance works with a very diverse, collaborative force of people. So there's a strong sort of political part to it, where we're asking questions about ethics and aesthetics. And that, I think, has been our challenge for the last 25 years. So Salamanda Tandem is like creating a force, you might say, a group of people, a kind of family group of people who have a similar ideology, and there are these principles and values. I think that attitudinal change is a big part. Something that was very powerful for me as a child was the way my father was treated by other people. My father was deaf and blind, and I experienced him as awe-inspiring. When working with profoundly disabled people, for example, a project recently, those children needed someone to say, no, we're not going to split this group into two and send the ones who are in wheelchairs, who are actually profoundly disabled, round the back entrance, and the others are going to make the front entrance onto stage. We're all going round the back. In fact, we're having a mini concert round the back. You know, in fact, part of our work is going to be, near the dressing rooms, off stage. At the moment, we have a quartet, for example, one blind person, one visually impaired person, and two sighted people. It's very much about their leadership and how I might help to facilitate. When I started to work with Mikkel, who's the most incredible long cane user, he uses it as though it's like cat's whiskers, as an extension of his body. And by accident, we were at Corby Cube in the new building. One could hear this incredible sound. It was almost by accident that the floor had this beautiful resonance. And of course I had no idea until we went to Leeds to do White Cane that Takashi described this warm wind, and this beautiful tune came out of it. He was describing the gaps between the buildings and the way the wind changed. He could feel it, the gaps between the buildings. And that then became the core concept. Feeling in the movement, in the body, in the skin, what other people may not even know or realise is there. And to take the audience with us, to experience the gap between the building, to experience the movement of the trees. We decided to place ourselves right in the most busy square in Leeds. And it's the first time we've ever put ourselves in an absolute public situation. So there were lots of issues because, for example, we have 70 radio headsets. We didn't want it to be the kind of event where people had to book tickets. What was amazing was that people were drawn in. They would have a little listen. Oh gosh, I never knew that this is what this was. Also drawn into the world that Takashi describes of listening to the buildings, sensing the environment in a very different way. Essentially, it's sort of, Mikkel went to the top, he waited with his long cane, and through the audio description and the headset, we asked people if they would like to take the journey. And they would take a very different journey from the journey they took on a regular basis. And then in the midst of all this, you've got people in business suits, and you've got folks that are wandering around their daily business, as well as this slow moving group of people. In dance, we're stuck by using sight as the dominant sense.
defining what sort of dancing has value. But if we widen our perception, there are no limits to expressive potential.
We deeply know in dance, when we see a performer who is really connected back to their inner imagination, is also connected to their environment, we then suddenly begin to see there is this somatic sensory component that makes the difference between that kind of empty shell type of copying of or aping of someone else's movement and your own connection with movement. I think movement is life.